Hey, everybody. You know what time it is. It is Talk to Me Tuesday, where we're sharing some helpful networking tips to help grow your business. I am your host, Tandra Price. Oh, Dr. Tandra Price, better known as the Network Ninja. So, listen, I cannot wait for you guys to meet my special guest. Listen, I love this lady to death. She rocks and roll with me. Look, no matter what, she rocks and roll with me. But before we get started, we got to kind of put some things out there. One, please like and share this broadcast because guess what? We are all entrepreneurs and we all need some help. So any networking tips or resource tools, we want to give them to our next person or a friend or someone else who is in business. Two, listen, if you find something that just resonates with that you love or what we're talking about, or you want to join the conversation, we put woo woo, woo 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 in the comments. And thirdly, listen, note takers are money makers. So guess what? I always have my pen and paper sitting right here handy with me because I'm gonna take some notes. Because let me tell you, with my special guest here, listen, you don't know what she's gonna say. And whatever she say, let me tell you, it's going to be some juice added to it. So you want to make sure that you write down all these good golden nuggets. Listen, today we're just gonna, you know what? Today I just want to as we're talking about networking and how we can add these resources. I'm gonna call it just ask us networking ninjas. Look, she got a different ninja, but just ask us, us networking ninjas. Any questions you have, just throw them in the comments and let's go. But let me tell you, I want her to introduce herself and tell her a little bit about you. And guess what? We're gonna dive on into this Talk to Me Tuesday. So Miss Shannon, please introduce yourself while I kind of get myself fixed up over here.
All righty. Well, I am Shannon Brooks, aka Shannon B. I'm located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I have my own company called Brooks and Associates, and I'm a financial services specialist. So what I do is I help people in three areas of their lives. One is finance. In that area, what I do is I help people to get their money together. I help them to come up with an obtainable savings goal.
Three areas. Girl, look, I'm already talking. Okay, go ahead.
I'm also a life and health insurance agent, but I mainly focus in on life insurance because, like I tell people all the time, GoFundMe is not life insurance. It truly is not. I'm sick of them little links. I'm not coming to the fish fry foolishness, and I'm not that T-shirt with the deceased person on it with them on the back of them going up them stairways to heaven. I'm not getting that either, and neither should you. So what I do is I show people how life insurance works for them. It can generate and create wealth and also allow a person to be a financial legacy when they pass. And also help people with their credit. I help people to understand their credit, understand how it works, and also to understand that not all credit is good credit. So just because you get an offer doesn't mean you need to accept it, simply because what the big print give it, the little print take it away.
Let me listen. I'm gonna have to snap real quick. Let me tell you what I love about this beautiful lady here. One is she 100, y'all. Listen, you don't find very many people, especially in our industry, that is willing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This lady right here, I love her to death. She tells the truth. And you know what? She has so much good wisdom and information about insurance. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. I love it. I love it. I love it when she says insurance is not a GoFundMe page. That's a woo woo. Oh, woo 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 woo. And it really isn't. You know what? It's all about preparation. When you say Shannon, we have to get ourselves prepared for things like this, not only for that particular thing, but it also helps for our families as well. And leaving them not in such a situation or anything of that nature. I know a lot of times, and if I've experienced it here lately, I don't want to say recently, lately, but in the past, I've experienced how devastating something like that could be, and kind of where it just leaves your family kind of up in arms. Like, what would you say to somebody who's like not prepared?
Well, first of all, I tell people all the time, that not being prepared, that's foolishness because you got to stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready.
There you go.
Then the thing is, we all got an expiration date, so we need to stop playing. We ain't gonna live forever. We ain't that dude that was on the Green Mile that lived together, he did live together forever with Mr. Bojangles, that little rat, or whoever it was. He just kept living and living and living. That's be none of our realities. We all realize we all gonna check out here one day. And going around here, that's like playing a game of Russian roulette, and it's 9 or 10 bullets sitting up in there, and you just hoping and praying that that one time out of 9 or 10 bullets that you ain't gonna get hit. That's craziness and that's foolishness. So I always tell people, you got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Stop going out here acting like, oh, I can do it tomorrow, or I can do it the next day. Next day gonna turn into next week. Next week gonna turn into next month. Next month is gonna turn into next year. That next year you might be dead, and you didn't even handle
Mm.
your business. So that's why, handle your business, please. You ain't got to go with me, but just handle it with somebody. Stay ready. Mm-hmm.
Listen, she
Yeah.
didn't say, look, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. She's saying, handle your business. Because listen, you're right. I know a lot of people kind of fear that kind of conversation. They like, listen, even though, that is reality, but a lot of times people fear the conversation of wanting to sit down with their loved ones, sitting down trying to talk about it and planning it out. Um, and I know just in the conversations how sometimes that can be, because I think I don't want to say people feel jinxed or anything, but I think they just feel uncomfortable. Like, I mean, what would you say to somebody who felt comfortable just kind of sitting down and talking? Listen, before you answer that question, listen, preparation is so important. It's not only important just with your planning and stay, but it's also important as you know you putting all these things together in your business to be able to leave to someone else. We have to be able to be prepared and have a plan laid out, like what's next. And
Mm-hmm.
without that plan or preparation, I mean, it's kind of hard to take it to the next step. So what would you say to someone who like fears that conversation? I mean, that's huge. They fearing the conversation of something that eventually that will happen.
Well, for me, and because I have, encountered a lot of people who have that fear. First of all, I tell them, I said, what we're going to do is we're going to take away everything that you thought life insurance was. And what I'm going to do is break it down for you and help you to understand that this can also be a benefit for you if you live. See, life insurance is about end of life. Nobody wants to talk about end of life. And I get that. That is very depressing. I'm just going to be honest. But when I, show people and educate people that life insurance can actually generate and create wealth while you're still alive, use it as a tool to generate, that income, or generate that wealth. I should say income is what you get daily. Wealth is what you can leave, behind. But even while you're alive, you can still be able to, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Because there are, they have life insurance products out here where you can benefit from them while you're still alive. When I turn it around and I educate people from that standpoint, not necessarily like, oh, when you die, oh, when you die. I mean, yes, that's, a big component of it, but it's a thing of, if somebody says, wait a minute, hold on, there's a product out here that if I outlive a term, it's called a return premium. If I outlive my term with this return of premium, I can get all my money back in 20 or 30 years. Yeah, you can get all your money back. So now, yes, you want to have a savings, but let's just be honest, it's hard saving nowadays. Cost of, living going up. You almost got to have a layaway plan to go get you some. And honest, like, going to the grocery store, lie, you be over there in that Walmart checkout line, like, maybe they might not see me put this over here because I ain't got number $50, and this thing coming up about $70. You making life decisions at, the gas pump and in the Walmart self checkout line. It's hard to save. But the thing is that if you can say, okay, if I outlive my policy, I can get all my money back. If I get this policy over here, over time, it's going to build up some cash in it. So I can take this and put it over here. I can take this and start my child's college fund. I can take this and I can go and invest it. I can take this and do this, this, and this. When people start to see it from that standpoint, they're like, okay, where I need to sign up at? Because the thing is, especially in the Black communities, we have always just been taught that life insurance was about your final expenses, or as we would say around here, to put you away.
Mhm.
Nobody talking to them about, or to people about the fact that it can be there to generate wealth. Why do they not talk about that? Because those products, the commission isn't that high. I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of times we talk about term policies and stuff like that. The premium is a lot lower. So a lot of times you got agents out here who like, I'm just gonna keep talking to, the Black folk about, these high, $10,000, $20,000 whole life plans with these big old, premiums because they want that commission. And don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with that. But the products that where it can provide you way more financial security is really over there in term.
Okay, wait a minute. Listen, audience. Now, she done said some good Jews. And I hope that y'all have your pencil and paper and wrote down some of this good juice. But I just want to be clear. So I'm going to go back because, okay, we started with the conversation of fear. I love the way she turned that around. So these are the kind of agents that you want. I mean, they're actually listening to your needs and listen to the things that, that matter because now listen, she made a good point. It wasn't just about the life insurance. She's making it seem like how you can take advantage of what you have right now today, but still be able to build wealth that can leave for your family and your children. See, I love that because what happens is that you're right, with everything going on, everything prices going up. We don't know if we're going into another recession. Finding a way to be able to save just a little bit. And you're right. A lot of people have problems even just with savings. I mean, it probably right now, if you check your balance or your savings account right now, like, are you where you want to be at today based on the savings that you wanted to have? And here's a tool that she's given you. Write it down, you guys, a resource that say, hey, you know what? If you don't have your life insurance, let's check it out. If you do, look, what kind of life insurance that you have. And on three, guess what? Is that life insurance making you money? Now let's stop there because you know what? We talk about that in business right now. Everybody in the networking industry or in any kind of business is always looking to generate revenue and wealth. But along while they're doing that, you know what? We have to figure out a way that we can kind of transform this thing into making it work for us and our family. We always have that question, what's your why? And normally everyone says our family, but in a situation like what you have, you are giving them a way to be able to have that generational wealth continue to go down the line. So I want to make sure that everyone is paying attention to what we just said. That was juice. That was a woo woo. That was a woo 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 woo. Because I love it. Because a lot of times you write, sometimes and I'm not speaking for all insurance agents, and I'm sure everyone has their own way, but the bigger the dollar, the bigger the policy, right? But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we have to think about, is it really in the best benefit of our client that we're trying to make sure that they understand the importance of having a financial plan.
That's right.
So yeah. So as we're talking about that, another thing that people kind of tend to seem to think about when it comes to life insurance is that, listen. Now I've been in the life insurance industry too, and one of the things that used to just like drive me crazy. Can we talk real? Can we talk real? Let me tell you, one thing that used to drive me crazy is that we would go, or I would go out and talk to people about the importance of life insurance. They would get the life insurance policy, and the minute that premium came around, girl, they decided to get their nails done, go get their hair done, and that'd be the first thing they drop. Let's be real, y'all. Let's be real with it. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, that used to drive me crazy. And then if someone passed away, then guess what? You right now we in that GoFundMe stage.
That part. Well, my thing is, this is where I always say, I don't judge a person, but I watch and observe.
Mm-hmm.
If I, even, get a little ounce of, you might be out here doing, and I ain't gonna say what I normally call it on your show, but those, what I refer to that as. It's not really a nice little term, but it is what it is. But if I can sense that you're not going to be serious, now I'm not going to be, rude or anything like that, but I'm going to kind of back off. And if you still want it, in the world of insurance, you can always switch it from what they call advanced commission to as earned. So I'm already like as earned because I'm not getting ready to be sitting up in here with the banana in the tailpipe with a big old, charge back or whatever. Because you, and sometimes now the second, third time you try to come around, then I got to be Shannon B. I'm like, look here, boo boo. You out here wasting folks' time. Now you want to go out here and get your nails done and do this, that you go right ahead. And keep letting the counsel, okay? Because eventually, some of these companies not even going to want to be bothered with you. But when
Okay,
that
wait a minute, Shannon. Let's stop right there. She made a good point. Listen, you can't keep going getting policies.
mm-hmm,
You cannot keep going to get policies on a, what is it, feel felt and found type thing. Like you felt like it today, you found it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that because there's a rule to that. There's a process to that, because I'm sure there's a database that shows every time you get a policy, and if you're canceling that policy, what do they consider that, high risk?
mm-hmm, yep, exactly. So that's why I'm like, mm-mm. So once I sense that, I'm like, no, we're not going to do this. You're not going to really waste my time. You're not going to disturb my groove, and nor will you waste my time on whatever day of the week it is. So like today is Tuesday. I have no problem telling somebody, look, you're not going to disturb my groove or get on my nerves. Not on a Tuesday. Now you go find somebody else that's willing to work with you, but we're not getting ready to do that over here. And that's how you just go ahead and kick them onto the curb. No, now I get it that sometimes things happen. But a lot of times it's all about, sometimes taking away from just trying to get that dollar and really, seeing who who a person really is. And a lot of times in their conversation, in their approach, anything that they're doing, if you see it's all red flags, you don't have to be mean to them. Just be like, you know what? I tell you what, why don't you look at this website right here, and you can maybe try to find a better, price over there. Like I will push you off real quick, and you won't even know that I'm like, nope, we ain't doing this, not today. You won't even know that's what I'm doing to you. But you getting ready to get on away from here, because what you're not going to do is call me every other month with some kind of sob story, with some kind of excuse. You're not getting ready to bring all your little ghetto friends over there, to me to try. No, I don't need that pool in my life. No, that's okay. Y'all go ahead. Two fans to the sideline. Bye.
Okay, listen, let me reset the room. Listen, do y'all see why I love her? Do y'all see why I love her? Listen, you are tuning in to Talk to Me Tuesday, where we're sharing helpful networking tips to help you grow your business. And you have I have my amazing guest, Miss Shannon Brooks. And of course, you have your host, Dr. Tandra Price. And we are talking about the importance. Now, we ain't even got to the next thing, which is that credit, but we're talking about the importance right now of being prepared, having the proper life insurance that will cover and take care of your family, but also, you can take advantage of it right now and generate some wealth right now that will be able to go on for generations. They used to say back in the day, like, people would buy really high life insurance policies, and they would do that because when someone left, they would have this like huge fortune. I mean, like, what do you say about that? I mean, is that still kind of the same kind of thing that people are doing, you think? I mean, their kids would have so much money because they bought these huge policies. I mean, like, what is that still going on today?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, and I always like to keep it 100. When it come down to the Caucasian, race, yes, they've been doing that. Like that's the reason why you sit up there and be like, how in the world is Ginger and and Maddie and little Bobby out here riding around, and they're 21, 22 years old, and they're sitting here living in mansions and everything, and you're thinking like, wow, their parents must have been rich. No, great grandma left them a big old life insurance policy. A great granddad left them a big old life insurance policy. And a lot of them, that life insurance policy, the face amount is still sitting somewhere in the account. They're living off the interest. So
Mm.
down to our people, because we were always behind the eight ball, we're not aware that we can do that. See, we want to go out here and work 2 and 3 jobs, and no disrespect to anybody that works 2 and 3 jobs. I've done it and I'll do it again if I have to. But the whole thing is that we're not out here creating wealth. We're just creating income, and income is temporary.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna stop you when they get that juice. She said we're out here just creating income, you guys, and not wealth. And you know what? And the reason why I brought that question up, because I mean, that's huge. I mean, if you see how people kind of take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to them because they're finding a different way. Now, what Shannon said from the very beginning when I asked about the fear question, she turned that question around and said, no, This is how we can do this. This is how you can look at it. So she took fear out of the equation and said, this is how we could do it. But see, when you do it this way, you know what? Now you can start creating that wealth, not that income, but that wealth. Okay, there's two different things. Please, audience, please make sure that you understand. Let me just put this here. I mean, you got to understand that there's two differences to that when we're talking about life insurance. You know, people used to use it for one thing, but see, once they found a way to kind of get the most or the bang of the buck out of it, they start switching it. And you're right, a lot of us wasn't really kind of in that educational mind. I mean, again, like you said at the beginning, it was just about, okay, let me get this small policy. If something happens to me, at least I have enough to bury me. But we really didn't see how we could really take advantage. I mean, right now they have life insurance that you can be drawing money off of right now, using it, you know, to pay your bills and of different things like that. So we really have to be kind of open-minded, guys, when we're I'm sorry, not guys, but audience. We have to be open-minded when we're thinking about life insurance and really how you can maximize the benefit of having a policy. And I'm so glad my girl Shannon's here to tell you and break it down to you. So we got to kind of pay attention to what she's saying, y'all. She's dropping some golden nuggets. So I hope everybody's writing this down. Okay, go ahead on, Miss Shannon. Like, you know, I gotta stop you at some point because you're dropping some nuggets, and I want to make sure that everybody got it.
Well, you know, I got it. You stop me anytime. You know, this is your show. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut over here. That's all.
I love it. I love it.
But but yeah, like I was saying though, when it comes down to the Black community, all we try to do is we go out here and try to create more income. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it because, like I said, if I have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make sure my family's straight, I'll do that. However, when it comes down to life insurance, what I try to do is I try to tell the Black race, us as a people, like, look, this is what we can do, because all we're doing right now is we're just leaving memories. We're not leaving a legacy.
Memories versus legacy. Come on, you listen. Now that juice, you want to break that down. Tell them the difference between that. Listen.
Okay. See, this is the difference. Go ahead and give y'all a breakdown of it, okay? This is how you know you're only leaving memories and how you leaving a legacy, okay? When you leave a legacy, have you all ever noticed how sometimes you'll go in somebody's house and there'll be a big old picture on the wall? I mean, a big picture, and you can tell that this is somebody from like the 1800s. Look like they might have played what's that little stick ball or whatever with Laura Ingalls and Mary Ingalls and went to Olsen's church. It came from that time. You know, that was spooky looking picture, like it's smoky in the background. But that picture be up there, kind of like this window, be about as big as that window right there. And then you be like, oh, who is that? Oh, that's my great-great-grandma Martha. But great-great-grandma Martha is why we have all this land, why we have all of the things we have. Now, let's go over in our household, okay? Now, we love great-great-grandma, or whatever. We love great-great-grandma Sadie. We love great-grandma Pauline. We love grandma whoever. But you know how you know that she wasn't able to leave a legacy like that? Y'all know, remember them floor model TVs? And now everything, they got a drape over it, and it's an 8x10 picture of grandma up there or whatever. And, when you look at that picture, you like, whoa, grandma made the best pound cake. Oh, you remember when we used to go over to grandma's house and we would all hang out and play? Remember grandma used to have us snapping peas and stuff and shucking corn? What are we doing? We're talking about memories. Great-great-grandma Martha over there, they talk a little bit about memories, but they can say, but that's the reason why we have this big horse field over here filled with the horses, because of great-great-grandma Martha. You see all that over there, the vineyard that we going on. Great-great-grandma Martha allowed us to do that. Legacy is whenever you don't really have your generation after you, and that generation, they're not worried about anything. That's why I say sometimes when you go out here and I break it down with Black and white people, because you know what? It's just the truth. This is my truth. This is what I see. White people be out here happy. Why they happy? They ain't got to worry about finances like we do. They ain't over there on no payment plan, no payment arrangement plan. They pay everything with cash. They live off interest. They live off dividends. That's wealth. We over here, let me go ahead and see if I can get me a third, fourth job, because Lord have mercy, when grandma died, when mama died, when daddy died, not only did they leave debt, they done left, houses and stuff like that. And you sitting here like I'm barely making it, but they over here done left all this mess. That's why a lot of times you see us fighting at the funerals.
Okay,
We
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yo, I'm not laughing. She is telling the 100% truth. Okay? And please get your, I hope you are writing this down. She gave you such a good example from memories to legacy. Okay? Please paint the picture. I hope you got that picture. She did it so well. And you're right. I mean, like I don't sometimes you don't even think about it like that. Shannon, thank you. We don't really think about it like that.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's why I say also another thing is, have you ever noticed how whenever there's a funeral, I've been, to, my Caucasian, people's funerals, and I've been to our funerals, and it's a whole different setup. Whenever somebody that passed away that's Caucasian, you can tell who the beneficiaries are because they're sitting on the front row and they're just as quiet. I mean, a little tear here and there because they're gonna miss them, but they at peace. The second row, them the ones that shoulda, coulda, woulda. They were like, man, I wish we could have got in there, but it's all on black and white. But we gotta, the third and fourth back row, they just like, oh, we just had to come because I don't want to hear Martha's mouth. I want to hear Harvey's mouth, but we know we're not getting anything. We're going to the repast. We're gonna get fried chicken, then we're gonna go home. Now, black folk. The reason why that first row is on there, that's the immediate family, but they mad with each other. Why? Because mama didn't leave a life insurance policy. 9 times out of 10, it's already determined that she had the wrong kind of policy, didn't have enough or whatever. Or sometimes she might have said, I want to leave it to, such and such, some cousin that's way out, because we grew up together, whatever. But guess what? That cousin, don't even realize that they were the doggone beneficiary. Why? Because we ain't talking about each other. I mean, talking about each other. That first row is mad and disgusted. They mad and disgusted that mama done died, number one. But they mad and disgusted that mama died and left all that doggone debt. So when you already in, the behind the 8 ball, you already in the negative. Now you done had to go out here and beg and borrow money to get somebody, buried. And then to find out, sometimes they'll be like, okay, you come up with 2,000, we'll go ahead and do this, but you need another 3,000-4,000, or whatever. So now you mad. So now brother, sister, whoever, they've been fighting in the family car. They've been up there cussing at each other. And then on top of that, now they got to come out there. Now they got to figure out how they all going to have to come together to try to, settle mama's estates, mama's affairs. And it's like when you don't have anything or what you barely have is enough for you and your household. But now you all got to try to come together to save a house. You got to try to come together to save a car or save whatever's going on because mama wasn't prepared. Or some agent came along and told her, oh, yes, ma'am, 5,000 is enough. And that was back in 1974. But ain't nobody went back.
Not even in effect. Let's stop right there because see what happens is too, like, you girl, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I got my answer to me now. But now, this more. But I got
morning juice, y'all.
I got my coffee in, but now you got me good. I'm good up until about 2:30. After that, I might be like, oh, Lord.
Listen.
Now.
Yeah, you made some good points. Please, y'all, audience, we're doing Talk to Me Tuesday where we're sharing some helpful networking tips to help you grow your business. Listen, she made a good point because what happened is back in the day, way back in the day, people would come to your house, knock on the door, sell you insurance policies. And you're right, till this day, some people still have those policies. No one really took the time to stop and review what was going on. Like, here again, we just think we have a policy. And let me tell you too, just from experience, a loved one in my family had insurance and thought accidental insurance was the insurance. Okay, that, listen, just because you fall down ain't no accident. Okay. We have to be clear. But see, people were being misinformed and miseducated on the type of policies they have. But going back to that door knocking, I mean, right now, if you have a policy, something similar to that, if your family, somebody has something similar to that, you need to get a hold of Shannon. Let Shannon review what it is that you have to make sure that it's the right thing. See, back in them days, some policies was what? maybe $5, $6, but they never really held any value to those policies. So, but as long as somebody in the back of their mind thought, oh, girl, we taken care of, we got a policy. No, you really don't. And you know what? I'm sure that there's been some laws that have changed within the description of those policies that make them right now, even though you're still paying that $5 or $10, that it's a voided policy.
Yep. And then on top of that, a lot of times what has happened is um, sometimes people don't even realize, especially the older people, they don't even realize that they can get more than 10,000. See, this is nothing that people aren't aware of. See, prior to 1964, Black people were only allowed to get $10,000 in coverage. Okay, and that was whole life. See, back then, the white communities could get term and build wealth. With us, they was like, no, we're gonna keep y'all back here. You're only gonna be able to get 10,000. But when the Civil Rights Act of 1964 came about, life insurance companies had to amend that. That's why back then it used to say Negro, white, or whatever. And I'm saying this because I remember looking at my great grandma's policies that she took out back then. It said Negro. So I'm not trying to be funny. That's what it said.
Mm.
But they did that. So whenever you would, turn it in, if you tried to slide it in and say, I want $100,000 term policy, it was denied because you were Negro. Well, after, this night that act, passed, they had to take that away. So then it didn't, application weren't supposed to be asking if you're black, white, pink, purple. But see, telling the Black community that. So what that was doing was still, allowing grandma, great grandma, aunties, whoever to keep only wanting to get these $10,000 whole life policies. But the only person that was benefiting from that was the doggone insurance agent. And why? Because if you're paying $80 a month for a whole life policy compared to over here, you can pay $25 a month for a term. Guess which one is going to have a bigger result commission wise? So that's the thing. A lot of times when I tell, a lot of, my seasoned, folks, anybody that's like over the age of 55, because my mama's 72 and she don't like me calling elder or anything. She's like, I'm seasoned. Seasoned. So if you seasoned out here, just realize that you don't have to keep getting that 10,000. That's where that cap come from. That's why a lot of them say 10,000, or whatever. And so that's the thing is like, so whenever they feel as though, I can't get any more because of what was told to me back then once again, that's why we still out here just, sometimes, getting these little small policies. And what you got back in 1970, 75, 80, what you got 10 years ago, cost of living has gone up. So people had $1,000 in coverage. Yeah, that was great for 1975. But nobody bothered to go ask mama, well, mama, did you do this? Then that's nothing. We don't like talking about it, nobody. So you may ask, don't ask me that. Don't get in my business. But sometimes you got to get in mama business. Sometimes you got to get in daddy business, because even though they try to do the right thing back then, they have outlived all this, inflation and everything else. So what $1,000 gonna do for you today? That all that right there is gonna do is probably take care of the family car, a wreath, and some of them flowers.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing, y'all. I'm not laughing at what she's saying, because what she's saying got so much juice. Y'all, these are some golden tip nuggets. And I don't know. I mean, like, maybe that should be something that, we all take a minute to review what we have. Because with everything going on, sometimes this information gets changed, sneaked in there, and we don't even know about it. Again, not having the right policy. I mean, Shannon, I love the fact that, just how you do that to make sure that you're reviewing people's information to make sure that they have the right policy. I'm telling you, I have seen, even back in the day, if we stay there for just a second, back in the day, even, listen, they were selling accidental insurance as if it was term insurance, saying that, you know what, this will cover you. I've had somebody who had a ton of accidental policy insurance. And I'm thinking, who told you to buy all this? Like, where did all this come from? This accidental insurance. You guys, it's not term insurance. And you have to read the fine print of how those policies pay out. So people are paying tons of money on an accidental policy. If you're not reading the right information, you don't know how or what that's going to be on a payout. You think you got insurance, but you may not have insurance.
Mhm. Nope. And I always say, what the big print give it, the little print take it away.
Say it one more time for the people in the back, y'all. Y'all got to hear that.
What the big print give it, the little print take it away. Anything, any company you go through, any company that I'm with, people like, oh, I like it. No, you may like it, but we're gonna turn it over. We're gonna see what's on the back of this brochure, because that's where the story is. That right there is gonna let you know how it's gonna work. That big print is to draw you in. That little print, that's the truth. That right there is where
Okay,
it's
hold on. She said that big print is gonna throw you off, but that little print is gonna tell the truth.
big print
See,
brings
that's what happens. A lot of us don't even read that little print.
That's where it's at. And see, that's why I say that's where we're gonna start at. That's why I tell people all the time, because I'm gonna do what? Tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even if that means that whatever you thought you wanted, now you realize it's a little different. I'm okay with that, because I'm all about truth. I'm all about being honest and being truthful. And I have integrity. I may not be the most professional agent out here. I'm full of ain't gots and everything else, but guess what? I'm very well educated. Don't let that fool you.
Say,
But
don't, girl, don't you let this fool you. Don't you let this fool
that's
you.
fool you. I'm very well educated now, but I'm just gonna be me in all things I do. But
I
the thing
love
is,
it.
but that's why I tell people all the time, when you're dealing with an agent, make sure you know what you're getting. Stop just letting the agent just tell you something. Stop walking away looking like Bambi in the headlights. Ask questions. If you come over here and deal with me, I'm like, what are your questions? I don't have any. Well, we're gonna start over again. I'm gonna let you go, and I need for you to come back and have some questions. Go talk to your family, do something, but don't come over here telling me you don't have any questions. Don't
You
do
know
that.
what? Wait a
Don't do
minute, let's stop, because that's a good point. You know what? When you're taking on such a huge investment, that's just like if you're going into a bank, right? You're going to buy a house or buy a car. You're asking questions on how the process works.
Mhm.
Now, when you get into life insurance, it's the same thing. It is an investment. So you have to ask how the process works.
Mhm.
And then once you see how the process works, you guys, we got to do our research. We got to educate ourselves, because if nothing else, I tell people all the time, even when when we do LinkedIn workshops, I said, you got to know how to do it yourself. You got to study the information yourself. And I love the fact that you do that, Shannon. Like, don't come empty handed. Like, when you go to any financial advisor or planner, you're just not giving them your portfolio. You know what I'm saying? They're going to ask questions too, but you should be asking questions of your agent to make sure, to make double sure that you are in the space with the right agent.
That's right. Mhm. Exactly. So that's why I always tell people, I said, do your homework, do your research. Even when you're dealing with an agent, ask around. I tell people all the time, my name good out here in these streets. There might be some people out here that don't like me. That's okay. I mean, I like them either. But guess what? They can't come out here and say that I'm out here doing people dirty. So I always say, ask around. If every time you turn around, well, I don't know about that person, see the red flags and move on. Because the thing is that you make sure you're paying it. That agent isn't paying. Don't let an agent come in and railroad you and whatever and tell you this is what you need. No, you get what you know that you need, but make sure you have the education behind it. Make sure that agent is educate you, not just throwing some needs analysis sheet in front of you, telling you need $1 million in coverage, and you go out here and get it. Then 3-4 months later, you realize you can't afford it, and now you got to let it go or whatever. But you can't find that agent, because that agent got their commission. They in witness protection now. They done 24/7. You can't sit down and enjoy your doggone dinner with your family because that agent, hey, have you decided if you wanted to do this way? Hey, how you doing? Just want to check in. Let them get that first doggone commission payment. They going in witness protection. They don't care if you couldn't afford it.
Wow. Wow. Ooh, woo woo. Woo 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 woo. Now
Mhm.
listen, we gotta get to that credit side, because listen, insurance and credit go together.
It does.
Now, a lot of people don't think that. And I know right now, listen, y'all, we gotta have some credit. Now, if nothing else, we should have learned this back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of times back, and I don't know, I could be mistaken, but for some people, they didn't really focus on credit, because at that time, maybe they couldn't get some of the things that they wanted. But when they realized that credit was important enough, in order to, buy a house, buy a car. Look, get your kids a student loan education. You got to have some good credit.
Mhm.
And to get life insurance. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, people want to know that you're credit worthy. And how do you do that? So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us some keys, or first of all, tell us why it's important to make sure that your credit is in good standings.
Well, for me, I always say, I always tell people, people love to say cash is key. That's true. However, sometimes you just may not want to go over there and get in go in your savings account and take out $5,000 to get something. Sometimes you may say, you know what, I want to, pay things in installments or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you have busted credit or whatever, it's real hard to go out there and do that. And say, I have to talk about myself first. I had busted credit. And so I have to rewind it. I always say, I don't go talk about anybody else. I got to talk about me. And the thing is that when you have bad credit, it limits you, because sometimes some of us, talking about myself, when I first got started, I didn't have, a grandma that left me a legacy. She left me memories. She left me what she could. Okay. My mom worked 2 jobs or whatever. I was from a single parent home. I had to go out here and work. When I got into college, I had to go to work. But the thing is, you know how they get us? Okay. Back when I was a freshman back at A&T in 1994, you walk past and there's always these little, tents set up. Oh, you want a free mug? You want a free t-shirt? I sure do. So I go over there to, complete it. And they were like, all you got to do is fill out for a credit card. Get it here, because I want that free, like as soon as I sign my name, I hand it to you, hand me my mug. I ain't thinking about the application. I wanted the mug. Mm-hmm. Well, the next thing you know, here come all these credit cards. And I'm like 18. I think back then I might have been working some little job, maybe making 10, 15 hours a week, $4.25 an hour. You do the math. That lets you know how much money I didn't have. But they gave me all these credit cards. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out here. This is back in the day when Queen Latifah and Escape and all of, so everybody was on. I was Queen Latifah. You couldn't tell me. I went UNITY. That was okay. So I had to go out here and buy all these clothes to make me, look like Queen Latifah, the big old earrings, hair, the big old buns and everything. Before I know it, I done blew through $2,000 worth of credit. But I was like, okay, how much I got to pay back? $10 a month? Okay. And then eventually I wasn't paying nothing at all. And what I didn't realize, I ran my credit in the ground. And so now when I'm trying to go and get things when I'm older, I'm like, why can't I get stuff or whatever? They was like, oh, your credit score is only like a 550 or something like that. I was like, so? I'm like, well, why can't I get some? Because once again, I'm ignorant. Why can't I get it? Because you don't have good credit. What I need to have good credit for? I ain't understand. I was out there just canning up my credit. But that, and so, it took me almost 10 years. It wasn't until I was almost 30 years old when I could finally start going out here getting things. And even then, I wasn't getting the best. I was getting them little credit card offers.
Now, wait a minute. Let's stop. Now, y'all listen. First of all, please take these nuggets down. First of all, free ain't always good, y'all. Just because, and you know what? And you're right. Back in the day, I mean, companies were trying to make sure that they hit their credit card quota, and they would have these beautiful stands out in front, just like they did at your school, saying, hey, you know what? You can get a 20% off your purchase if you fill out this credit card, or hey, or you can get this nice trip if you fill out this credit card. But what you didn't know, honey, that was a trap. That was a trap, because the more things that they put out there to entice you, the more you were filling out them credit cards.
All that.
And if you don't really realize, again, what you say, the big print outweigh the little print.
Big print give it, the little print take it away.
Ain't nobody reading that little print to find out what the interest rates and how you pay that back, because all I was doing was looking at the big print. Oh, I get this for free. Okay, so y'all, she made a good point that free ain't always good.
That's it.
It's not always good. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Credit, when we don't think about, first of all, you were getting all these credit cards. Two, now you go to really get something. You're talking about what's a 580? I mean, what does that have in relations to doing anything I need? Because before I was getting all this stuff. But go ahead on. I just want to stop right there. Free. I just wanted to say free ain't always good, y'all. Don't get enticed by the game.
it. And see, that's the thing. A lot of times that's how they get us. That's how they got me. And so that's why, I always say, now I can relate to that person that has bad credit. I can relate to that person that's struggling. I can relate to that person that's ignorant. Ignorant means not knowing. Ignorant does not mean dumb or stupid. Ignorant now, if you ignorant, IGNANT, that means you know better, but you're not doing better. Now you're a little cray cray. Now,
That means you know better, but ain't doing better. She broke that down.
so ignorant just means not knowing. But
Mm.
that what I always want people to understand is this: if you have good credit, sometimes credit can get you in doors that cash can't.
Ah, look, say for the people in the back, credit can get you indoors. Y'all, that
Cash
cash,
can't.
cash money can't get you.
And a lot of people out here look at like this credit is has longevity. Cash for a lot of times it's going to end someplace. But the whole thing is that if you sit and say, you know what, I have $1 million credit line or what have you, what if you keep paying that and you're doing well with it, you know what they'll do? They'll keep increasing it. Companies have the ability to increase it, but if you only have $1 million in cash or whatever, and you use your $1 million in cash, now what you got to do? Now you got to start all the way over. You can put that over there to the side, use it when you need to, use it when you want to. But if you got a 750 above credit score, you can go out here and just keep qualifying for all these other, bigger, credit lines. That doesn't mean you need to use all your credit lines. But that just means that when you know how to use it, as like a stepping stone to get whatever it is that you need. And then worst case scenario, let's say something does happen or whatever, you're like, oh, well, I can just use my cash over here. Now I can go over here and pay my credit card bill all the way off. So like what I try to do is I more so teach people about being able to be disciplined when you have that credit, knowing how it works, knowing that like the main thing I tell people is if you get $1,000 credit limit, don't go out here and go crazy with it. If you don't do anything else, get it up to maybe $500, pay it off or pay it down, then use it again. Let them see that you have good payment history. But that doesn't mean you got to go out here. Some people, they'll get that credit approval on a Monday, that Tuesday, they done already got their doggone, credit card number. And by that Wednesday, I'm like, you didn't even get a card in the mail. You just went on out here and now you done maxed it all the way out. And for what? But that's why I say a lot of times when it come down to what I try to show people and teach people is, let's first of all find that discipline. If you can be a good stewardess over your money, then you should be able to be a good stewardess over your credit. And therefore, when you go out here and get these decent credit cards, or they, my thing is a lot of times your credit isn't all that great. Whenever you get a credit card offer, but there's a security deposit with it. If you get this high interest rate, or they got some kind of monthly, fee, or they got a yearly fee, an annual fee, they're just loaded with all these junk fees. But see, the thing is, they know that most people don't have good credit, so they just happy to know, oh, this is going to be reporting on my credit. There's other ways you can do without, going through that.
Now, yeah, she said junk fees. I
Mhm.
love that. She said junk fees. Again, that big print, that little print is telling you that's where they throwing all that info in, is that little print.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And so that's why I tell people when and don't get me wrong, if you're in a situation where you're trying to rebuild your credit, there's nothing wrong with taking. I had to get those. I'm not sitting here knocking it. I just know how they operate and how they work. So if you're trying to rebuild your credit, get you maybe one or two. You don't need to be out here applying for 5, 6, 7. Because why? You're gonna give all your extra money to fees. You're gonna give it all to interest, rates. You can have a $500 credit limit, but a 40% interest rate. So when you go to make your monthly payment, your payment may be $20. Somebody else may have a $500 credit limit. They got a 9% interest rate. Their rate, their monthly payment may be $20 too. But yours probably $15 of that's going to go towards interest, while $5 is going to go towards principal, while the other person's is going to be the opposite.
That's true.
So,
Listen,
so
that
that's
was some good juice right there.
got to know. But a lot of times people don't understand it. They just so happy that, oh my God, somebody gave me an offer. And that's how they do it.
Not a credit card.
Yeah, it's like, but go out here with somebody got an 800, credit score, and you go out here and tell them they're gonna get a secure card. They be like, oh, this is garbage. I don't need a secure card. Like, why? That's garbage. Like they look at all that. Them ones that got that 750 and above, oh yeah, they be looking at that stuff with a magnifying glass. Like, what is this? Oh no, no. And while somebody else be like, oh snap, let me.
Say snap, snap.
They be like, oh snap, I got me a credit card. And I'm like, and you over here excited about a $300 credit limit credit card that you had to put $250 down on to secure it, and then they gonna charge you $10 a month, and you got a $99 annual fee that's attached to it. Shh, let's not go out here and brag about that. I mean, I'm talking about myself. When I was rebuilding, I had them credit cards like that, but I wasn't out here, girl. I got my credit card. No, I'm like, let me just swipe this real quick so I can try to build my credit so I can get away from this call. I wasn't happy about that. I tell people, don't be out here. No,
Oh my God, Shannon. I love you so to death. Y'all, I mean, audience. Look, I'm audience. Listen, Miss Shannon has broke down some good juice, and some woo woos. I love the fact that you know what she's you know what she went a full circle. We didn't really dive deep in, but she's going to tell you here in a minute how you can connect with her. But I love the fact that she we started with the insurance because that's so important. And she showed you through the insurance how you can build that wealth instead of just income. She kind of told you more importantly, what to be looking for. Like if your agent ain't asking, if you ain't asking the agent's question, she's telling you go back, do your research, whether it's with her or whoever, you need to be making sure you come fully prepared to the table. And
mm-hmm.
then then we just touch base on the importance of credit. Because see, you got to have insurance and credit matches. And believe it or not, people don't think that, but I'm sure they run your credit in on insurance because that determines what kind of policy you really can get. They ain't gonna, and listen, if your credit ain't right, they ain't gonna be like you want to get this $1 million policy, but guess what? You at a what 320 credit score? Boo. I don't think that gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
They say, listen, you ain't going to pay for nothing.
But they really now I know some companies will do that if you asking like you said for $1 million policy, but I know for a fact that a lot of these property and casualty companies out here they'll definitely run your credit. If you're looking for homeowners, if you're looking for car insurance, I'm not in that field, but I got friends that are, and they was like, yeah, they started really truly looking at your credit. So if you got bad
Well,
credit, you
they got to because guess what? Listen, how credible are you? If they give you this information or they give you these policies, can you pay them? See, here's the thing about it is the insurance company don't want to be at risk.
mm-hmm.
They don't want to take on that burden. They want to know, guess what? If you by accident get into a car accident, guess what? You could pay it. You paid the policy. So
Mm-hmm.
they can pay the people who, whatever happened. But if you at a low risk, then guess what? I'm sure your premium payments are going to be higher. Just like Shannon said with the credit card. Listen, if you got a low credit card or a medium number, guess what? They're going to hit you with all them fees, hidden fees, and they're going to give you a higher interest rate to where if you had a 800 or something, guess what? You're going to get that. It's different. It's just totally different. But listen, lady, we are at the top of the hour, and you gotta tell the audience how to connect with you. If you got any programs coming up, any events, or just how to connect with you, so they can bring in their information to you, and you can work with them.
Okay. Well, I am on Facebook under my name, Shannon Brooks, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I will tell y'all this right here. My page can be a little ratchet at times, like I do keep it 100. So, sometimes they come in on Monday and by Friday they're back in my people you may know section or whatever. And
People you may know say.
yeah, like, oh, I guess them off, but okay. Anyway, moving on. But yes, I'm on Facebook, like I said, Shannon Brooks, Winston-Salem. Also, I'm on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn page is way more calm, kind of boring, but I'm over there too on LinkedIn. Um, you can see what else. Email swbrooks31@yahoo.com. And if you ever want to give me a call, now I'll tell you this much right here. Now I got this thing on my phone because I be getting all these telemarketers and warranty calls. I'm sick and tired of Habib calling me from someplace else wanting my information, and I know it's a scam about my car warranty. I'm like, boo boo, my car paid for what? But anywho, You can call me though. That's why I tell you, you can call me. Just text me first and let me know where you're coming from. Because if not, you're just gonna go over there and just get
Look, you
or
DM her first so she can make sure
text me
that
first. That's it. Because if you don't, you're just gonna probably just be just sitting there. But my phone number is 336-486-9151. So there's my phone number, my email, on Facebook. I mean, your Facebook, Shannon Brooks. Look under Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And on LinkedIn, Shannon Brooks. I think something comes up with me saying I'm with Humana, something like that. But that's how I said people say they have found me before. I'm associated with Humana. So, but that's pretty much fine.
audience, I want y'all to drop her a question. Like if you have some questions, DM her. She gave you so many ways that you can connect with her. DM her, let her answer your questions. Like I'm telling y'all, she is so real. She will answer your questions for you. And you don't find many agents out there, not unless they're trying to get some business, will they take the time to answer a question. And that's what I love so dearly about her. But listen, y'all, thank you all for joining us. Oh, wait a minute. Let me say I have to reach out to our sponsor, which is On Stage Plus TV. So this is airing on their channels as well. We are thankful for them. They're an amazing sponsor. Also, let me see. We do conversations over coffee. Me and Shannon both. And Shannon, tell them real quickly about your networking event that you do.
Okay. Well, me and one of my good friends on the first, is it the first? Yeah, the first Monday of every month. Now it's pretty much for Black women entrepreneurs. And the reason we do that is because of the fact that I'm just going to be honest, a lot of Black women, we just do not come together, or we don't know where each other, is. So we put together a call on at 7 o'clock. We and let me see, last about maybe about an hour and a half. And what we do is we network. We truly network. We connect. Like I'm big on connection. Just don't come in there and tell somebody about what you're doing and bounce. No, because you ain't coming back. Because that's not true networking.
It sure ain't.
We don't do that. And then, but the thing is that I always tell people this isn't a BNI, no disrespect to no BNI, but there are other agents. Like I'll bring other agents in there because when I'm in there, and if I'm just, if I'm hosting, I'm not going to play host and be the agent. No, I want other agents to come in because I want them to be able to put themselves out there because we got to learn how to stop competing. We got to learn how to connect and collaborate. So that's what this call is about. It's about, connecting, collaborate. Even if somebody's in there doing the same thing you do, so what? You connect with that person, you collaborate with that person because you never know, just like how Tandra always said, the blessings in the show up. You never know, you might be that one person that can come along and, and inspire them or tell them, something that they didn't know. So that's what that call is about: friendship, sisterhood, having a good time, after the call is over, reaching out to each other, breaking bread, whatever. That's what I'm big on. I'm not big on quantity, I'm big on quality. So that's what I push that call is quality.
Awesome. Okay, so I love it. So listen, also she gave you another hook up to give you. Look, we always are giving some juicy tips of where some different resources. Let me drop one real quick too. So I am the co-host of HNP, which is Happy Neighborhood Project. It is a networking event. If you can network anywhere in the world, listen, take time to check it out. I'm the host on Wednesdays at noon p.m. Central Time. I'm one of the hosts. I just said host. I'm one of the hosts. So check it out. Go to happyneighborhoodproject.com. Look at all the networking opportunities as well. Okay, lastly, listen. I am gearing up for my issue, my Tapped In magazine issue for August. We still have a few slots left, men or women. If you are interested in getting the visibility that you want or looking at expanding your network, tap into tappedinmagazine.org. Go reserve your spot. We are going to have a phenomenal issue this time. Listen, into the meantime, next time, same place, same time, talk to me Tuesday. Have a fantastic week and have a prosperous week until we see you again. Have a good one. Bye bye, everybody.